So it took me some time to recover from that project, but the next idea that I had was kind of connected. Just a moment. At that project, I imagined something like that. It started from a very simple image that I imagined, that was a band playing in a field while its amplifiers are buried in the ground. You can see maybe the connection. I think in that project I wanted to separate the body in a way that the body would not be buried, but the voices will be. So I started to develop this idea. It always starts from a very small seed, but then I asked myself, what can I do with that? And I wanted to make it into an event. I wanted something that will create more, I would say, connection or some kind of doing something together. I don't know how to put it, between people with those circumstances. So I thought to myself, I should bring a few bands, maybe 5, to a field and have them all bury their amplifiers in the ground and then have a concert and have them all playing and the voices will be coming from the ground. So when I had this idea, I asked myself, okay, this is the beginning of something, but which kind of music, where do you want to do it? What exactly do you want to do? And it became clear to me that I want to do it with heavy metal. It fitted the natural, I don't know, materialistic of what I wanted to achieve, because heavy metal, to my opinion, is very raw, and I imagine that those voices, and also to me, the voice that is being produced in heavy metal is very unique, the human voice. So I thought that would be like a perfect match. Also with the imagery of heavy metal, I thought it would fit. And then I asked myself, okay, where do you want to do it in the world? So because I'm always interested in the way culture is distorting phenomena, the way a certain phenomena is being distorted through traveling geographically in culture, so I decided that I shouldn't do it in the places where heavy metal started, which are the UK and the US, of course. Heavy metal started during the late 60s, it's debatable, but since then it became huge in a certain point, and it became a phenomenon that took all over the world. And then I felt that I have a very strong memory for heavy metal. It was when I was 16 or something, yes, 89, the Berlin Wall fell, and it was the most amazing moment for us, I don't know, in Israel, to see something that is happening outside of your country and seemed very big. And for some weird reason that I didn't understand, heavy metal became the soundtrack of this political moment. We all remember the Scorpions singing "Wind of Change" at Moscow, you know, after so many years of the Iron Curtain blocking this kind of culture. So it became an emblem, it became an image for me, and I asked myself, how come this most political moment that I can remember in the 20th century being connected to the most unpolitical music that I can imagine, because heavy metal, as opposed to, let's say, punk or rap, that is about do-it-yourself or fuck the system, or, you know, we should cry, to release ourselves from the burden of the system. Heavy metal has nothing to do with that. Heavy metal is all about the inner soul. about the eternity of life, about psychology. It's something that is like looking inside more than it looks about the way society functions. In general, of course, there are exceptions. So I asked myself, how come this became the emblem of that moment? And then it was clear to me that I need to go there. I need to go to Eastern Europe. I need to go to the farthest place that I can imagine, where this phenomena was being first exported and then distorted in a way. So I choose Romania. I choose Romania because it was the backyard of the backyard. It was the backyard of the communist empire, a place that was neglected even back then, and of course afterwards, because we all witnessed this moment of promise during the late 80s and the early 90s, where everybody thought that we, the West, are bringing democracy and free economy to those people behind the Iron Curtain. Oddly enough, or not surprising, it turned to be a complete disaster, because you cannot just inject this kind of paradigm in a society that doesn't fit completely into that. And of course that we injected capitalism into the idea of democracy, and it was very, very brutal what happened. So it was interesting to me to look and to find out what is happening now. Why are people, and the phenomena of heavy metal in Romania is quite big, why are people now, these days? Heavy metal might be maybe the most humiliating genre to listen those days. So why are people really dealing with that? So I started my research. These days it's really simple. You click heavy metal in Romania and then you get like 300 bands, and then all you need to do is just listen to all of them and send some emails. And then again, I'm like, I'm an artist, that time from Israel, and I'm working on a project and I would like to meet you. And they all said yes, because I didn't tell them what I want, what I'm planning. So I'm making it short.